Mr. Wells. Over here. Claire's voice cracked as she raised the little sign higher, praying the name matched the man walking toward her. The man's sharp blue eyes met hers. Daniel Wells? He said dryly, glancing at the paper. That's me. Only he wasn't. And by the time Claire realized her mistake, she was already halfway to changing both their lives forever. The late afternoon sun bathed the airport curbside in gold, glinting off glass doors and car hoods. Travelers bustled past, dragging suitcases, hugging loved ones, shouting into phones. Claire adjusted her beige trench coat and held her cousin's sign tighter. Daniel Wells, Investor Group. Her cousin, a professional driver for a corporate agency, had fallen ill that morning. It's a simple airport pickup, he'd said. Just hold the sign, smile, and drop him at the hotel. You'll be fine. Claire needed the extra cash. Rent was late, and the bakery she worked at part-time had cut her hours. She didn't know anything about investor groups, but she could smile politely, drive carefully, and pretend she belonged. Then she saw him, a man in a tailored black suit, sharp as a blade, pulling a sleek carry-on. The kind of man who didn't wait for anyone, the kind who made other people nervous just by existing. His presence radiated control, wealth, and maybe a touch of arrogance. He looked at her sign, then at her, and for a heartbeat, she almost lowered it. Mr. Wells? She asked timidly. He gave a tight nod. You're with the group? Claire forced a smile. Yes, sir. Welcome to the city. He didn't bother replying, just followed her to the car. She noticed his impatience, his habit of checking his watch every 30 seconds, his clipped way of speaking, like time itself owed him something. Inside the car, silence filled the air except for the hum of traffic. Claire's palms were sweating on the steering wheel. You're new, he said finally. His tone wasn't friendly. Yes, sir, she replied. Just helping out for today. He frowned slightly, then looked out the window. I like punctuality and precision. The last driver I had kept talking. I don't do small talk. Claire bit her tongue. Arrogant much? She thought, but kept her expression neutral. They drove past city streets glowing with evening light. His phone rang constantly. Sharp conversations about mergers, meetings, millions. Every word he spoke confirmed it. This was no ordinary investor. Finally, at a red light, curiosity got the best of her. So, what brings you here, Mr. Wells? Business or pleasure? He looked at her, amused. Do I look like a man who has time for pleasure? She smiled faintly. You could try. It's allowed. His jaw twitched, the smallest crack in his perfect composure. By the time they reached the hotel, dusk had fallen. She stepped out to open his door, but he stopped her. You don't have to. I'm not royalty. She grinned. Could have fooled me. For a moment he just looked at her. Really looked. Something flickered behind his cool expression. What's your name? Claire. He nodded once, then turned toward the revolving doors. Thank you, Claire. She watched him disappear into the lobby, exhaling in relief. But before she could drive off, her phone buzzed. It was a call from her cousin. Claire, where are you? Daniel Wells just called. His flight's delayed. You're supposed to pick him up in an hour. Her blood turned to ice. What? If you already picked someone up, that's not Daniel Wells. Claire's heart dropped. She looked up at the hotel entrance, at the man who just walked inside. Then she realized she just picked up the wrong man. And judging by his confidence, he wasn't just anyone. That night, her phone rang again. It was the hotel concierge. Miss Claire, Mr. Hale would like to see you. He says you were his driver earlier. Mr. Hale? She repeated. Yes, Ethan Hale, CEO of Hale Enterprises. Her knees nearly buckled. Ethan Hale, the reclusive billionaire investor whose company owned half the skyscrapers in downtown. She walked into the hotel lounge, palms clammy. Ethan was there, still in that dark suit, sipping black coffee, eyes fixed on her. So, he said evenly, you're not from the investor group. She swallowed hard. No, sir. I made a mistake. My cousin was supposed to be here, but he was sick and he raised a hand. Relax. I'm not angry. That surprised her. He leaned back. You didn't ask who I was. You didn't try to impress me. You just drove. I just wanted to do my job, she murmured. He studied her for a moment, then smiled, faint but real. Most people either recognize me or pretend not to. You didn't do either. That's rare. Claire shrugged. Maybe because I wasn't pretending. He chuckled softly, the tension breaking. Well, Claire, since you've already been my driver, how about being my guide? I've got a free evening and a list of meetings I'd rather avoid. She blinked. You're joking. I don't joke about getting lost in cities, he said. Come on. Show me something real. Not a restaurant where everyone knows my name. Hours later, they stood at a quiet street corner outside a tiny bakery. Her bakery. She'd unlocked it just for him. The smell of cinnamon and fresh bread filled the air. This is where I work, she said. It's not much, but it's mine, sort of. Ethan looked around, touched a rolling pin on the counter. You make these yourself? Every morning, even when I can't afford to buy what I bake. He turned to her, eyes softer now. You should own this place, Claire. Not just work here. She laughed bitterly. I can't even pay rent. He hesitated, then said quietly, maybe you just need someone to believe in you. Something in his tone, genuine, unguarded, made her chest tighten. For the first time, the billionaire looked human. The next morning, as the sun rose, Claire received an envelope at her door. Inside was a single note, for the girl who drove without pretending. And beneath it, a bakery deed transfer form. Her name was on it. Tears blurred her eyes as she read the last line. Sometimes the right mistakes lead to the right doors. That day, Claire learned that not every wrong turn leads to disaster. Some lead straight to destiny. And as for Ethan Hale, the man who had everything, he found something priceless in the woman who had nothing to prove. If this story touched you, subscribe and tell us where you're watching from. Because sometimes, the biggest miracles start with the smallest mistakes.